Hey guys, I'm just recording this. Um, I haven't done a video for a while. This video um, is a pretty big update to the deck that I've been playing with. I wouldn't say I've been working on it because I didn't really work on it. Um, I was playing with my standard list. Um, Pretty similar to the one I posted. This is the recommended list that I posted in the Hogak video. Um, the one which had four Ichorids, one Hogak in place of a Thug, two Putrid Imps, two Studies, four Wraiths. Standard list, just replacing standard Aurum style quad laser list, but with Hogak instead of a Golgari Thug. After Arcan did really well in the challenge with three Ichorids and one Hogak, and I got a bit tilted because I had a few hands where I drew a Hogak and bricked on dredges. I thought, you know what, I'm just going to put the Thug back in. It's easy to hate on Thug because it's the crappiest dredger, and often you can brick with it, but honestly, sometimes you just need that, and it just works. Like sometimes it helps you chain dredges, like you dredge a thug and troll into a thug, and it lets you keep going. Um, I was just liking the consistency of it. Um, so I tried three Ichorids, one Hogak with the standard two Putrid and four Street Wraith list, and it was running really well. I was liking it. I wasn't feeling I was having more games where I was losing to bricking than I was losing to not hitting a threat because I've only got three Ichorids, if you get me. Like the problems were on the dredging side rather than the threat side, and Hogak has pretty much just proven his worth at this point. Um, I think it's a mainstay in the deck. Um, I've been against combo decks, except a black red reanimator where you want to take it out because they can reanimate it and kill you with it. Um, I've been going down to two Ichorids, one Hogak, four Narcomoebas as the threat, just to give you an extra sideboard slot. And I'm never sad to hit the Hogak really because they never contest your Narcomoebas unless the game's gone really strange. But if the game's gone strange, then maybe you can just get a Hogak back with a Thug or something. So I was testing three Ichorids, one Hogak. It was running really well. Then London Mull happened, or this was around the time London Mull happened. Yeah, this was around the time London Mull happened, and I was running, but I started losing a bit with that. I went on a bit of a bad loss streak. I think it was a bit unlucky. I played against some weird matchups. Right, where was it? Yeah, I played some matchups that I shouldn't. I lost to D&T and some stompy decks, and I was not feeling it. It wasn't as consistent as I liked. And yeah, then I went on a really big loss streak, losing to like Maverick, Grixis Control, Mono Red Sneak Attack. I lost the Dredge Mirror a bit. It was Tauren, but yeah, I was just feeling down about the list. It was just like something I wasn't. I don't really know. It was just like Wraith loses a lot of power with the London Mulligan. Oren posted a list where he'd cut pretty much all the Wraiths and gone all in on Careful Study, for Breakthrough, main deck Dread Return. And I thought, you know what? I was feeling the Wraiths were a bit down. Oren sort of spurred me on by posting this zero Wraith list. Let's come up with something with no Wraiths, because a lot of the power of Wraith, on top of being able to dodge surgicals, just making hands better, is it just sort of smoothed out hands. Like you were never, there wasn't a hand. I used to say this. There's never a hand with Street Wraith where you're like this. The Street Wraith's making the hand worse. You know what I'm saying? Street Wraith just improves every hand, but the problem is without the scry from the Vancouver Mulligan, you don't get to see what's coming up next. So just cycling and hoping to draw a card, you lose a bit there. Because you're not necessarily drawing into something you want. You just have to be like, well, am I better to try and draw? Say you keep a hand that's like LED, land, grave troll, street wraith. Is it better to try and draw a card? So, say you mold to like 4 or 5 or something and you've got some other cards in hand. Is it better to try and draw a card with street wraith? Or just cycle Street Wraith, just play LED, cycle Street Wraith, Dredge, Grave Troll, hope to hit and looting that way. Now with the Vancouver Mulligan, you could see what was coming next, so you'd know. And you could say, right, given that I bottomed a card, my odds are slightly better. Or you can just shove a breakthrough on top, cycle into it and just go mad. It was really strong, it was really versatile. But the London Mulligan has done a few things. One, it's made your opponent more likely to have force or counter spells or whatever, so you need a greater density of stuff that does stuff. And also, it's encouraged deliberately mulliganing for hands that do stuff. And the problem with Wraith is that you don't know what it does. It can be any card. It can just be the next card. But when the options between the next card or seeing a new 7 that might just be better, and then going down -1 card, you're better off often just mulling the hand than keeping the questionable hand with Street Wraith, because you could just draw a Narcomoeba or a Bridge from below and just hate your life. So I was finding Wraith wasn't working. That's a bit of a long, rambly explanation of why I cut the Wraiths. And I put in 2 Putrid Imps just to keep up the black count. Though that's sort of helped by there only being 3 Icarids. We're not eating as much stuff as before. Up 1 Careful Study and 1 Lotus Petal. So the 4 total cards are 2 Putrid Imps, 1 Careful Study and 1 Lotus Petal for 4 Street Wraiths. And this has been running really well. The Lotus Petal was sort of Orum's idea. I saw it and I was like, that's kind of smart, because often, well, one, it frees up a sideboard slot. It means you get an extra sideboard slot. How great's that? We'll go to the sideboard in a second, because there's been a few changes. Frees up a sideboard slot. Sort of counts as a pseudo 14th land, because pre-London Mulligan, I often thought it's probably worth going up to a 14th land, just because you had to mull more hands because they had no lands than you wanted to, and drawing more lands isn't really bad because you never really see any more lands during the game, so you can sometimes just get wasted out of games really awkwardly. Sometimes you just want lands to hardcast thugs, post board. It was good to have. Excuse me. It felt good to try and slot in a 14th land. There just wasn't really anywhere to slot it. But now, removing the Wraith, get sort of a pseudo 14th land slot, free up a sideboard slot, help make these 7-card hands more explosive. This sort of can act as like a pseudo Lion's Eye Diamond, in that it lets you go off turn 1. You can go like land, Putrid Imp, Lotus Petal, Breakthrough. Like, it lets you do fun stuff like that. Just makes the deck more explosive. That's the most important thing about the London Mulligan, just explosiveness. And this list is really explosive. Yeah, you lose some of the explosiveness from Street Wraith, but you gain explosiveness in that your hands are all gas, because you have like a lot. I can't do maths. 14 draw spells. Well, Putrid Imp started draw spell, but ways to get stuff in the graveyard. And that's pretty much the main deck. I've rambled enough about that. The sideboard, cut a Lotus Petal. What have we put in? an extra Leyline of Sanctity. Again, I saw Orim do this, albeit I was running 2 Leyline of Sanctities a while ago, but the idea to go back up to 2 was partly Orim's. I was like, yeah, you know what, if I'm going to get an extra sideboard slot, I'd like a second Leyline of Sanctity. Leyline of Sanctity has got a lot better, thanks to London Mulligan. All Leylines have. They're way stronger now. We'll get onto that in a minute. There's a lot of Crypt running around. Bomberman's a deck. People are just randomly running Crypts, like Blue-Red's running Crypts. People are liking the card Tormod's Crypt at the moment. Same 2 Gravestones, 1 Dreviturn, 1 Ashen Rider, 4 Leyline of the Voids. I was running 3 for the longest amount of time, but there's so much black-red online right now, just because everybody's messing around with the London Mulligan. If this chills out, I might go back down to 3, but I feel like an increase in black-red's just something there to stay, a bit like how Dredge got better, also black-red got better. Yeah, I'm liking it. With London Mull plus 4 Leylines, I'm feeling pretty happy about the black-red matchup. It's not really anything I worry about. Cut 1, Leyline removal, probably the greediest cut in the sideboard. I was on 5 for the longest amount of time, just because I was losing to Leyline too much. But now, Leyline's just gone. There's no Chalice decks. You'd think they'd be preying on the Delvers, but the Renin 6 is apparently just killing them off because they can't beat something that recurs Wasteland every turn. So Chalice is like nowhere. And the only Chalice deck that is really seeing play is Bomberman. And a lot of the time they don't even run Leylines. They're on running like 3 Tormod Crypts, which Leyline of Sanctity is good against. I've also been seeing Leyline in random decks. I've been seeing Leyline in blue decks, which is the reason for 2 Wismare over 2 Serenity. Wismare's just good. I really like Wismare. I liked Wismare ages ago. I like Wismare now. If there was more like proper prison decks like Moon Stompy or like Steel Stompy or something, I'd probably consider putting Serenity back in just to deal with the Chalice Leyline openings. But I'm honestly seeing like no Leyline at the moment. Like hardly any. They're famous last words. And I have been seeing Leylines out of random blue decks, and Wismare's just the best enchantment removal for versus blue decks with Leyline. It's also dodges Chalice. It's just got a load of good stuff about it. Sometimes it can just be useful, like they never have an enchantment and you can just use it to get bridge tokens. Yeah, that's the list. It's been running really well for me. It's been running so well for me. I am currently joint trophy leader, also with Orim and 2 other people. So I'm just recording this actually just off of getting my 5th trophy. Sort of a celebratory thing. I've never been top of trophy leaderboard before, so I'm quite happy with that. Feeling quite happy with myself. Just gonna gloat about how great I am. Yeah, so it's been running really well. One of those trophies was with the old list. One of those trophies was with me playing the Hogak Vine deck, which I actually think is really good. I think that deck's legitimate. I'm actually considering building it in paper just because it's like a fun second deck and it doesn't fold to Graveyard Hate as much, but it's still similar sort of nonsense. And 3 of them are with this exact 75 that you see here. Yeah, so that's pretty much all. Hopefully we'll get some good games. Alright, match 1, let's go. I keep that. Sure, that makes me think it's like a combo deck. I'm not a massive fan of that brainstorm art. There's too many good brainstorm arts. I think that brainstorm art's pretty good though. Also, if I get to untap and the Lion's Eye Urban resolves, there's no way I'm not just jamming Breakthrough here. You don't play this game to you don't play this deck to be scared of the card Force of Will. I'll play Confluence. We hit every Narc amoeba, that generally prompts a pretty sharp concede. I could get dazed here, but I don't really care at this point. I'm assuming he's on Ant or something. A Lion's Eye, I guess. Okay. I'll take Dark Ritual and Chrome Mox next. Dark Ritual. There was some argument to be made about just taking Thoughtseize and Chrome Mox there, just to give him the least amount of cards in hand as possible. But Dark Ritual's a good card, so because you could say, well, the only way he's really winning that game is if he brainstorms into something good, and he wants as many dead cards as possible to put back. So Leyline of Sanctities I like versus Tez because they're what do you call it? Goblin Plan's pretty garbage against us. We don't need to worry about that really. This matchup's often just a race. I will shave one Icarid just because I'm a crazy man. Now the toss-ups between do I want a second Lotus Petal or the last Putrid Imp. It's hard. Oftentimes I just sort of YOLO. Go all in. There's some argument to be made that Putrid Imp's good because it gets around Duress, but we'll see what happens. We might get punished. But yeah, 2 Leyline of Sanctity I really like because it stops them tendrilsing you without a bounce spell. They do sideboard in bounce spells against Dredge, mostly Echoing Truth, but it just makes them have to have it. These hands are not great. I'm mulliganing quite quickly. This is amazing. Keep. 1, 2. Do I value Leyline of Sanctity over... I think given that he can discard spellers, I think it's worth keeping the Leyline of Sanctity. Because if he takes the... if he discards spells, that's really bad. And this hand still does a lot if we draw a Dredger. But it's debatable. It's debatable. Like, if he starts like this, it's great to have brainstorm. Not brainstorm. Breakthrough. The other thing is, Tez sometimes plays Crypt. Not very often, but I've seen it done. Leyline of Sanctity stops that. I'll play the Confluence, just because if this game goes stupid, I want to have lands that stick around. Yeah, I'll play that out. There was an argument to be made not to play that Lion's Eye Diamond out, but we don't really lose much. Like, I don't think these sideboarded in artifact removal. And we don't really want to discard it to Careful Study, so... We didn't side out any thugs, so it's not like we've ruined our odds of drawing anything good. I hope he goes for goblins. Yikes. That's probably an ad nauseum. Okay. I mean... I guess ad nauseum from 19 lives is pretty consistent. Important to note that right now, if we kept the breakthrough, this wouldn't be any better or worse than what we've got right now. If anything, this is more awkward. We'd almost certainly be dead right now if we had kept the breakthrough. Yeah, alright. Let's play this game. I'm assuming he's sideboarded in bounce spells. Does Tez play any cards in the sideboard that answers Lion's Eye Diamond that you can get with Burning Wish? Not Leyline that you can get with Burning Wish? He is flipping really bad, which is really good for us. These are like abysmal. Okay, that's the first good card he's flipped. Oh, I guess he had a Lotus Petal up there. He can make a bunch of goblins. Maybe that's his plan. There's the Echoing Truth. Ouch. He doesn't have enough mana to bounce and kill, because he's got 1, 2, 3 mana. Is there something I'm missing? I don't think that kills. Even with bouncing the Leyline. Oh, I guess he's got Rite of Flame. Imprint, Burning Wish, Rite of Flame. But he's got no black. Oh, I guess with yeah, I guess that does it actually. Blue, bounce. He's got no black. He needs to load Chrome Mox, Imprint, Ponder, I expect. Bounce, Leyline of Sanctity. Sure. That black. Burning Wish for Tendrils. Sure. If he hadn't flipped that Echoing Truth, I think we were okay though. We did mull very low, so we were somewhat unlucky in that respect. I'll concede to that, won't make him click it. Have no problems with this, just run it back. Yes. How lucky do we feel about drawing a land, guys? This is probably a keep with the old Mulligan rule, but with the new one, I don't want to risk bricking on lands. That would be terrible. Yeah, this seems better. This hand just does a lot. Hopefully we draw a Dredger this game. We do not. We want to keep the Cabal Therapy in case we draw a Dredger. Maybe it's best to just bottom the 2 lands because I'm not planning on this game going long. Yeah, I think that's best. Yikes. Chooses to shuffle. Do I just name Lion's Eye Diamond? I think that's correct. That's good. And since he shuffled with Ponder, now I just have to think, do I want to break through here with X0? I feel like with that hand, we're pretty okay just to take it easy. Because he's probably going to brainstorm main phase, I expect. And if he does, we can Narcomoeba, sack, take ad nauseum. Because I expect he'll probably brainstorm polluted delta in main phase, and he'll keep the ad nauseum in hand. Actually, he probably won't crack. Maybe he'll put the ad nauseum on top. Good, that means he's got ad nauseum in hand. However, that might also mean we're dead. Oof. If he drew 2 dark rituals, that's certainly something. Oh, is he trying to Thoughtseize me? Yeah, no, you can't do that. I think the correct play here is just to play Narcomoeba and just take Ad Nauseam from your hand. I mean, that seems really good. Good card on top. Best draw here would be another land, because that would let us break through X's one. Perfect. And keep the other breakthrough. Yeah, I've not been drawing dredges these games. There we go. Okay, so now what's the best thing to keep? Okay, it was going to be breakthrough there. No point keeping Lion's Eye Diamond. Your best odds are just Stink Medium. Oh, there we go. One. I thought that was game 2 for some reason. I thought we lost game 1. But no, it was just over really quick, I remember now. Okay, one first match. Alright, time for match 2. There has been a lot of Storm Online, specifically TES. TES has really picked up. I mean, yeah, I'd keep that, I guess. Let's start with that. Okay, I'm not getting counterspelled, I guess. This is still a bit of a sketchy hand because Golgari Thug's the only dredger, but we don't play this deck to be weak, so yeah, like, come on. This is why it sucks having Golgari Thug as the only dredger. Dude's just picking it up. Dude's just, oh no, I thought it's just Modo being crap. I was gonna say, I'm not even dredged that much. I might scoot to that though. What am I afraid of? Do I name Dark Ritual or do I name Crop Rotation? Whoa! Scary. No point doing anything else there. Pray he doesn't draw Crop Rotation. If he doesn't, I think we're in an okay spot looking at his hand. If he's drawn Gamble or Crop Rotation, we might just lose. I don't think I've ever played against this guy. He's passing, but he played a Tiger. The scariest land. I mean, I'm assuming he doesn't have Crop Rotation or he used it just there. Oh! Oh! Hogak coming through! The big hog daddy. I mean, I'm assuming he didn't draw Crop Rotation or else he'd have played it. I can just use Cabal Therapy sack named Gamble. Maybe that's the best play. Molten Vortex. I mean, it's sort of like Gamble, kind of. What card does he not have in the hand anymore? Oh no, I've got my hand right now. It doesn't have Tranquil Thicket anymore. No Forest. Excuse Loam. I'm actually, when I play, I'm actually generally less scared when they're dredging Loam than when they're taking natural draws, but don't ever tell them that. Once again, Hogak proving his worth because we can sack him and make more dudes. Take Stinkweed. We're pretty much only dead to Tabernacle at this point. If he does hit Tabernacle, Chasm's okay, but he can't Chasm forever. It will buy him some time though. If we get unlucky, there are ways we can lose this. He has to play Chasm this turn, or else he's dead. Unless he's got some card in hand that's really good that we're not aware of. Yeah, sure. Because he'll lose a land, and then next turn he can play another land and Castle Home again. Or he can just pay the life, I guess. It's probably what he'll do next turn. Now, it's tempting to just draw a land here. Try and draw a land. We wouldn't have drawn a land there. But the other thing you can do is just keep dredging. Just swing to flex at them. There's no purpose in it. You can try and draw a land. Sometimes that's correct. Like if you've already got enough stuff in the graveyard and the only way you lose is Tabernacle. There are times when you just want to take natural draws against lands just to have a way to pay for Tabernacle if they get it. So they've hit Dark Depths, but they've not hit Stage, which is the good thing, because that means that we aren't risk of them Stage Depthsing us. They'll probably pay the 2 life next turn and then lose the Chasm the turn after. Right now I'm actually tempted to take a natural draw. I think I will. Nice, that was what we were looking for. So this turns off Tabernacle as an out for them. They'll be dead if they get a Tabernacle. I guess they can... no, they can't port us because we'll float mana. They can wasteland our land, but I'm okay with that. Maybe it would have been better to hold the City of Brass. Though then again, questionable. That's somewhat annoying because it gives them access to an extra mana. He's not finding what he wants, evidently. Is that absolutely the only reason we want to take the Molten Vortex out of their hand? Probably not. It's not a relevant card right now. Yeah, probably playing the City of Brass out there was a mistake. I should have held it and waited a turn. Because that encouraged them to play the Wasteland, which they might not have done otherwise. Thespian stage is good, but he can't stage in depth. If he had played the depths there, then he would be able to. You have to sack that. Mazavith's good. But again, he's got to play Chasm now. Might have been correct to Cabal Therapy myself last turn, actually, thinking about it. Tranquil Thicket, Stage, Chasm, yeah, sure. Chasm, Sack, Port. Sure. Won't be surprised if he now taps Chasm to cycle Tranquil Thicket. I think keep dredging here is a mistake of his, but... Oh, he just draws a card. I think I want to draw a card again. I'm inclined to just Cabal Therapy myself, take the Stingray Dumps now. Dude drew a crop rotation. Wow, what an absolute god. You didn't realise that was targeting myself, however. Yeah, see, this is what I mean. That's why I'm far more scared of them doing that. So now what he needs to do is he needs to sack Chasm. His outs are... yeah, I guess with Rift Zone Portal. The Rift Zone Portal's doing so much work here. Takes a natural draw. No, he's just choosing what he wants to do. Exploration's good, that's exactly what he was needing. I might have lost now because he drew Exploration. What's he playing at? Thinking about it, maybe it was correct to dredge to avoid situations like exactly this, where they have to try and contest a Dark Depths token, and maybe he has some other way to kill another Icrid. I didn't think about that. Anyway, in comes 2 Dread Returns, 2 Leyline of Sanctities. Take out Careful Study. take out a land for a Lotus Petal, because often you just want to go fast and take crop rotation out of their hand. Icarid I don't like taking out, even though it's a slow matchup. If anything, Hogak's probably more useless. I don't like Careful Study. I like Putrid Imp a lot in this matchup. I've not really played against lands too much recently. I like taking out a land for a petal though. Maybe that is correct. Maybe that's just correct. Maybe that is just right. The thing is, the Icarids are important in the matchup because it lets you play around. It lets you play around Tabernacle. I just really like Putrid Imp. Just lets you play around Bog so well. I'll take one out. Maybe I should take a Careful Study out. It's hard to say. There's arguments. Actually, oh, okay. I very aggressively like Leyline of Sanctity in this matchup. Not having to worry about getting bogged is a really big deal. This is a mole. I also really like hands with just Cabal Therapy. Turn 1 name crop rotation. This does that, but it does nothing else. This does nothing. The options go to 3 or keep this. I'll keep this. 1, 2, 3. We draw a spell, we're good. Draw a Putrid Imp, we're good. Maybe a gamble. Sphere of Resistance, I don't know. People keep some wacky stuff. I hope he wastelands me. It doesn't play Sphere. Oh wait, he can... No, he still plays Sphere. Alright boys, we're on draw spell or bust. It's not a draw spell. But at the same time we're not in a terrible spot. Because the rest of their hand seems to be absolutely nothing. There's an argument to be made to just wait. He hasn't played the Sphere yet. I just assumed he had. Oh, okay. That's the reason why he hasn't played the Sphere yet. Because we're just dead to a 2020. Okay. I will skip to that. So on the play, maybe take out an Icarid, bring in the Careful Study. Just want to try and turn 1 in really. Turn 1 name crop rotation is generally the best thing you can do. Keep a turn 1 hand on the play. Yeah, this is turn 1 hand. So I'm going to crack this for blue, crack that for red. We could get blown out by not hitting an Archimedes here. we do, which is lucky because that was the way we could have lost there. Blah, blah. Please do not have the card. Clock rotation. What are these keeps? Am I more scared of exploration or sphere of resistance? Somewhat hard to say. Also, is it worth just returning an Ashen Rider? Just in case. I'm just trying to think, like, what do we actually lose to? Like, what do we lose to? Top deck Tabernacle, top deck Crop Rotation, top deck Bajuka Bog, top deck Gamble. If we take Exploration and we take, I mean, he could still turn one Sphere as, but I don't really want to take Sphere. I'm more scared of Exploration. I think I'm just going to reanimate an Ashen Rider just in case he top decks something stupid. Like, the problem with reanimating an Ashen Rider is it's not optional. We have to exile something. Exiling our land's really bad. This is actually really awkward. Because they're going to turn one Sphere as, whether we take Exploration or not, but I still want to take Exploration. And I still want to return Ashen Rider. But exile zombie. Yeah, I think that's probably correct. Duh. It enters, I exile a zombie because it's non-optional. Take Exploration. Wow, that sucks. Oh, that's actually not so bad. Right, cool. Now we have to work out, do we win if they top deck the worst possible card? And we've used Ashen Rider to exile a land or Exploration or something? I think the answer is no. I mean, we know what they've drawn, and we know what their hand is. We're not really scared of them double sphering us next turn. They can't. So we'll still have access to Cabal Therapy next turn to sack the Ashen Rider. I think we just pass, because if they draw Crop Rotation into Chasm, they can still... no, they can't, but we don't care if they get Chasm, because we can just sack. Yeah, I'm just going to pass. I don't think there's a need to use it. I mean, we could have took Sphere, I guess, but I'm not scared of Sphere. Having an Ashen Rider on board against lands is just a big deal. Even I deliberately made my board worse in order to just get an Ashen Rider down, just because it's really hard for them to deal with once it's in play. What is your plan, my friend? Because this is not going to win you the game. You know what his hand is? His hand is that blank. Yeah. Right, game 2 against lands. Those are actually pretty interesting games. I question his keeps. Game 2. In game 3. Sphere of Resistance, I don't know. He didn't seem Bajuka any of the games, which really helps. Yeah. Alright, time for match 3. No idea what this guy's on, but this hand's great. Looks like combo of some kind. Let's do this. I should force a force if he has a force. Because if not, I can just crack Cephalid Colosseum with Lion's Eye Diamond and go off. Do I just YOLO? I feel like if he had a force, he'd force there. Whatever, we don't play this game to be weak. Let's go for it. If I get forced here, I've been 100% outskilled, but I doubt it. Because if he had it, he'd have used it. And if he had a force now, he'd just be snapping off the force, so I don't know, maybe he's got a daze or something. If he's got a daze, that's fine. It means I should have cracked the LED for that, but this is not a concern of mine. I'm assuming the card he has is daze now. What is your deal, my dude? None of that makes any sense, but I have just been 100% outskilled. Maybe I should have just cracked the Cephalid Colosseum. Maybe the pause was just such a tell, but it was such a long pause to then not counter. It was just like what are you doing? Well, that sucks. Hopefully we draw a land. That will rescue this hand. So it would have been bad if we cracked, or if we didn't. Both of those are not great. Okay, that's what we were wanting to draw. As long as the card he has is not the card Grizzlebrand, we are okay. I am keeping the Lion's Eye Diamond rather than the Careful Study, because if I'm hoping he's going to Emrakul us, and then LED's better than Careful Study because we won't be able to cast Careful Study. I'm hoping. If it's Gristlebrand, we probably just lose. Okay, this is fine. Yeah. Yeah. Exiling the bridge kind of sucks. Is there even any reason to cast LED here? I don't think so, because I want to protect it. This is good. But, what card can be in their hand? I'm going to name Force of Will. Maybe I should name Spell Pierce. Let's name Spell Pierce. Oh, smart man. There was nothing smart about that. That was just a bit of luck, really. I guess you can say, well, if Force misses and they've got like Spell Pierce and Fluster, that's worse. But since we have a second one for the Force, because we got another Cabal Therapy, that's not so bad. I'm just going to take Sneak Attack. I want them to have a few cards in hand. I guess sacrificing that is bad if they have Gristlebrand off the top, because we can't block. But at the same time, this puts them dead on board next turn, which I think is slightly better. I mean, what was it? I'd have had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, that wouldn't have killed. If he rips Gristlebrand off the top or Emrakul off the top, then we lose. He did not. Nice. Dread Return comes in. Claims come in. I actually really like Putrid Imp against them because of the Spell Pierces. Breakthrough, I'm not a massive fan of. I think I'd do something like that. There's an argument to taking out an Icarid. That probably the toss up between taking out the Icarid and a Thug there. Could have also took out the Pedal. This is a Mulligan. Yeah, I did bring in the Rider, I was going to say. This seems like a keep. Keep with bottom Dread Return, probably. Actually, not bottom Dread Return, because I'm going to have to discard some of this stuff. I think I might bottom the Putrid Imp. I don't think I need two. But I think this is a pretty solid keep. Drawing any lands off any of the loot spells. We basically are looking for either Dredge or land. The odds of that are pretty good. Keep, I'm going to bottom the Putrid Imp. If he forces the Putrid Imp and then like Spell Pierces us, that's the only way. In that case it might have been better to put the Breakthrough back, but Breakthrough is just so good. Oh, yikes. Well, I'm glad that we have... I'm sad that we put a Putrid Imp on the bottom now, but I am glad that we have like a bunch of loot spells. Now we got a decent number of outs here as well. We can draw a Claim, we can draw our Ashen Rider to turn off Show and Tell. We can draw a whole host of stuff. That's pretty good. Tap for 1. Casting Careful Study or Faithless Looting's a bit of a toss-up here. I don't think it's too relevant which one we use. Discard these 2 cards. I think I'm going to blind Cabal Therapy named Gristlebrand because that's the card I'm scared of. Okay. Not too worried about Arcane Artisan. Somewhat an annoying card, but it's not the end of the world. I mean, if we named Show and Tell, we'd have been wrong there. We could have named Emrakul, but Gristlebrand's generally scarier than Emrakul. Like, we beat Emrakul last game. It wasn't like we survived and then we just killed them. Lotus Petal's a good draw. Start with looting. Whoa. Right, so hypothetically, if we loot, what can we draw into that actually does something here? If we draw 2 dredges, or if we draw a dredger, we can discard that Cephalid Colosseum breakthrough, then we'll make a bunch of zombies off of the Emrakul swing. If we draw a Nature's Claim, how bad is that? Discard Nature's Claim. We can't cast Nature's Claim really. Actually, I guess because I can bait him into doing that because he won't have Flusterstorm mana if we swing with the Putrid Imp. I mean, this is tough. This is a hard choice. I'm inclined to just pass here, just play the land and pass. He took the damage. Yeah, I'm just gonna pass turn here. Just bait a counter spell. I don't think he'll do it. I think the correct play is just to dredge as much as possible. And then hope to have like 4 blockers, because he can't use Flusterstorm because he'll delay himself putting an Emrakul in play. If we'd have kept the Putrid Imp, I think we would have won this game. As it stands, it's a bit sketchy. We need a lot to go right. Let's do this, see if he fluster storms. I hope he does. Well, I hit all 4 bridges, which was what I was trying to hit there. So that's pretty good.
No, there's no point deal with it at first contact. Yeah. Yeah. Nice. That's really good. Yeah.
I don't think we can win this game. I don't think it's possible because we're going to have to sacrifice everything.
What was your resolution?
But he might screw up. Okay. Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll concede to that. Yeah, it wouldn't have mattered whether we kept the second Putrid Imp or not there. Kind of sucks. Didn't see any of the nature's claims. Wow. It's crazy. Take an Icrid out, put a breakthrough in, take a Putrid Imp out, put a Lotus Petal in, just try and turn one them before they cage us. That's another thing about the no Wraith build, you just sort of go hard. Like, with no Wraiths to keep in. Like, Wraith's better, but when you're trying to go quick, like, Wraith's obviously a great card, probably one of the better cards that you can have. But when you don't have Wraith, you can just bring Petals in. Which is sort of like a bad argument, but also you get more consistency with the hands. Yep. Nope. Yeah, this is keep. We bottom a Faithless Looting. If they have Force and Cage, this hand's really bad. But if they don't have Force and Cage, then we're good. So, careful study. This is just to play around Force of Negation. I'm slightly more scared of that than surgicaling my Faithless Looting or something. And I don't expect he's got Surgical because he's playing Cage. He's really thinking. He's really thinking. Well, I hit no Cabal therapies, so I can't just name Force and protect this. Why this man sandbags the Force, I don't know. It seems so strange to me. I don't get it. Grafdigger's Cage, yeah, sure. I think I want to draw a card here. Yikes. Maybe that was wrong. Maybe I should have just dredged. Tried to hit as many bridges as possible. That's also correct. Since I don't have a Nature's Claim in hand and I need to draw land and Nature's Claim in order to get rid of the cage. But I was sort of hoping to draw a land so I could crack the Colosseum, if you get me. Also, something you can do against this deck is that you can just hard cast creatures and just beat them down. I've won a lot of games against them like that. Like, often people just overemphasize getting cage. Actually, I'm going to dredge Thug. That was a mistake. I mean, I hit a bridge, but I wanted those lands. But now I'm just going to draw lands, hope to hardcast a Thug. Because you can get yourself above 6 creatures with Thugs and Stinkweed Imps, and then you can start blocking Emrakuls and Gristlebrands, and it makes it really hard for them. I have to think. I think I want to draw a card. Oh my god. He has Arcane Artisan, but I feel like his odds of having a threat as well are not that great, though I will only attack with 1 Narcomoeba. Actually, drawing Narcomoeba here is not even that terrible. Okay, that's what I was wanting to draw. I think the correct play is just to hardcast a Golgari Thug here. I don't want to swing in case the card in hand is Gristlebrand, because I don't want him to block a Narcomoeba, draw 14 cards. That's a good way to lose the game. If he doesn't tap Arcane Artisan at end of turn, then I'm going to start swinging with the Narcomoebas, but as it currently stands, I think we're in a pretty good position, especially if we can get the second Narcomoeba down next turn. I mean the third Narcomoeba. Sure. There we go. Days, wow. That's certainly something. If he swings with Gristlebrand, I'm going to double block. Swing at him for 8. Second cage, I mean, sure. I'm going to dredge Grave Troll here. I'm going to swing. Hopefully he doesn't have a second Gristlebrand, that would suck. Oh wait, he doesn't have 3 mana. Hopefully he doesn't have force of will. I'm gonna laugh if he has to pay 7 life. Okay, he doesn't. I mean, this doesn't look good for him. It actually looks quite bad for him. Unless he can get sneak into Emrakul. That looks okay. But next time I'm gonna dredge a Golgari Thug, just start spamming stuff on board. Perhaps it was correct last turn to dredge the Golgari Grave Troll rather than the dredge Stinkweed Imp even. Yeah, I'll block this. I mean, sure. We're going to knock him down to 8, so he probably won't want to try and get sneak. I'm not playing around him being able to sneak an Emrakul at this point. I'm not too concerned. I don't think we can win the game if he manages to do that. Sure. Oh, was that playing that Golgari Thug a mistake there? I wasn't really thinking. Yeah, it probably was. Take a draw. Yeah, because now we wouldn't have been dead to Gristlebrand. Still don't think our odds of winning are great because we're only dealing 3 a turn. What is this? Let's do this, see if we draw anything good. None of that is useful here. Yeah, I think sadly we're dead on board here. Our opponent made some weird plays, like not forcing the LED. Yeah, that was somewhat unfortunate. Oh well. I think I misplayed there, not by playing, but we'd have still been 1 damage short. The micro decisions that we could have made differently, dredging a Stinkweed Imp rather than a Grave Troll to give us the out of drawing a land rather than being sort of locked into dredging. Hardcast a Stinkweed Imp to block. The other option was not double blocking the Gristlebrand, but I feel like that's just a recipe for disaster because they'll gain too much life and then they'll be able to start drawing cards. Yeah, those were the only micro decisions I think. was close games. I don't think this is a card you want against Dredge. I don't get why they brought it in. Oh well. Alright, time for round 4. Let's see what we got here. No idea who this guy is. Snap keep. Hands don't get much better than this. The second Dredger would be better, but you can't have everything. Nice. Nice. Whatever he's on, he's lost. If they don't scoop to the therapy, it's generally correct to name either crop rotation or dark ritual. Have I ever played this guy? Oh, if I knew what this guy was on, I might cheat and look him up. This is pretty much how I'm standardly sideboarding. Miracles, but that was in 2016. Everybody was playing Miracles back then. No idea what he's on. So I'm just going to side in one pedal, take out a Putrid Imp, just because going fast's good on the draw. I'll keep this. Leyline of the Void. Okay. Well, I'm not going to scoop because I want to work out what Leyline deck he's on. Hogak. Looks like Hogak, Ryan. Yeah, it's Hogak, Ryan. What card do we not want them to have? Carrion Feed is actually not that scary since we're never going to be able to exile their bridges anyway, and we don't have access to our bridges this game. I'm going to name Altar of Dementia, I think, just because that generally goes stupid. Okay, Stitcher Supply was another good name there. Surgical and Leyline, wow. That's a yikes. Did I just get like lucked out by the one Leyline? I feel like I have to sideboard for it. Oh, he's just used Entomb. Get a Hogak. I want to block the Stitcher supplier because I want to have a better idea what's in his deck, because we're not winning this. Right, so I don't think this matchup's great for us because Carrion Feeder just screws over Bridge and they've got more stuff that returns from the graveyard. They play a slower game, but they're kind of trying to do the same stuff. But we're more all-in, and Carrion Feeder just sort of screws over our game plan while they're able to just do silly stuff with Bridge as well. Arguably more silly stuff because Carrion Feeder plus Bloodgust was just ridiculous. Make him look like I know what I'm up to. Escape to that. Right, so we got leylined. Don't like pedals very much. Not a massive fan of Putrid Imp here. I think I actually like Dread Return and Ashen Rider. Just because it's like an extra threat, it can deal with Hogak. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. Arguably a bit low on black creatures, which is something to pay attention to. Maybe that's down to a few black creatures. Maybe I'll just do that. Yeah, that's not very many black creatures at all. Normally I keep all 4 Golgari Thugs in when I cut all the Putrid Imps. No. Yeah, I guess we keep this. Bottom that and that. Keep the Cabal Therapy. That's fine, that's not a Carrion Feeder. That's great. Stinkweed Imp. Golgari Grave Troll. Stinkweed Imp. Not going to attack here because I want to return Hogak. Do I name Alter? I think that's correct. Good. I think we win now. We can't really do anything else here. There's nothing worth taking from his hand because he can cast them all from his graveyard, so it's irrelevant. In fact, it probably helps him feed Hogak. I just take that. I don't want to lose my bridge. I actually think this is a really bad matchup for Dredge. Like, genuinely, especially with the fact that they sometimes play ley lines. And you don't know. Like, when I've been playing Hogak Vine, I've just been slamming 4 ley lines. I see no reason not to with the London Mulligan. That's like the worst draw for us. Like, that's like abysmally bad for us. Yeah, it's really bad. The good thing is he can't block. I might just exile the Ashen Rider. I'd see no reason to though, even though... So he knows hands exactly those 3 cards, so I'll just... In fact, there's no reason to do that because he's going to sack it anyway, I expect, with the bridge trigger on the stack. Can we conceivably lose if he draws Ultra Dementia? That's actually very possible here. You'd have to get very lucky, but it is possible for us to lose. I'm surprised he didn't sack the Gravecrawler there. That seems just straight up wrong. Okay, we win. That was quick. Yeah, we got a bit lucky there, dodging Leyline. But I don't think we could have gone much lower. I mean, potentially we could have, but... I don't know. Sometimes you just get a feeling they don't have it. That's not very scientific, but... Yeah, we win. Multi-Leyline, kids. Alright, time for round 5. I mean, we keep this. What are you up to, mate? Wow. Oh, that was some lag right there. Good old classic Modo lag. Do I just go for it? I think I just go for it. We still have a second LED if it gets counted. If he had force, he'd just be snap forcing right now, so I assume he doesn't. Wow. This has just been the league of people forcing silly things. It just blows my mind sometimes. I almost considered just force checking him with the Cabal Therapy there, but I was like, no one's that dumb, right? If this, yeah, I'm gonna instantly just name. I'm gonna name Swords to Plowshares. Oh, I'm so good. So good. Why he didn't counterspell that? Wow! The skill! When did he do that? Oh, he just blind flip. Okay, cool. Jeez. Well, we know what his hand is. It's that. I'm going to exile the thug. I want to keep the Hogak. Yeah. I didn't care about potentially losing all dredges because we can just discard the hand to Lion's Eye Diamond. It's not ideal, but it'll do. But as it stands, we got exactly what we need, which is another black card. Another Terminus. Sure. Right. Yep. Alright. Okay, there we go. But I know he has a counter spell in hand. Oh wait, we can play around that because we have Cabal Therapy. Easy peasy, easy game. There we go. Alright. Sideboarding versus this. I quite like doing this. It might be correct to take out 2 breakthroughs, but with this London Mole list, I'm just all on just slamming. Just slamming. Putredimp's so good against Miracles as well, so having the playset's a really big deal. This is great. This is really good. Might try and be sneaky and not counter the LED again. But unless he's got Force of Negation, in which case... With the City of Brass trigger, you can sort of bait them into countering it. With the what are these forces? I don't understand. I literally do not understand. It's beyond my comprehension. If he Flusterstorms me, he's just like completely outskilled me, I guess. Jesus. I don't get it. I just don't understand. Why not counter the LED? I don't understand. Whatever. This isn't that bad unless he slams a Containment Priest this turn, which of course he probably has, because why wouldn't he after he did false? I don't know. Double Brainstorm hand as well. 1 land though. He's Brainstorm blocked. Oh, that's a big deal. It's actually a really big deal. And we got Icrid coming back next turn, that's really good. Yeah. Hopefully he's got no more cantrips, but that entire deck is cantrips, so... If we can hit another Faithless Looting... I mean, I guess that was an okay play. Oh my god. Who plays Crypt in Miracles? I don't understand. Doing that seems really bad as well. Okay, well we sideboarded wrong for this man playing Crypt and Miracles. That's a really good top deck. I think what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to pitch the hand in upkeep. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, I think I'm going to pitch the hand in upkeep. Because then I'll have 7 in graveyard, whatever happens. With that on the stack, I'm going to draw. Just because otherwise we'll go down. Why are you doing this to me, game? I mean, our draws weren't exactly great. We'd have had double mana confluence. We'd have got a Faithless Looting, I guess. Still, that's fine. We've still got an Icarid, 3 bridges left in the deck. We've got a Cabal Therapy in the graveyard, but this is rough. Who plays Tormod's Crypt and Miracles? People are crazy. Maybe it's not Miracles, maybe it's Stoneblade. I think it might be correct soon to try and draw a second land, but I want to hit some bridges first, I think. Monastery Mentor? Yeah, that's a problem. That's not bad. Oh, I should have attacked first, that was bad. I want to assume his hand's something like Jace. That's a card I don't want him to have. Force of Will, Snapcaster Mage. Why didn't he force... I think I've got to sack that. Doesn't feel great, but I think that's what I have to do. Because otherwise he'll just snap plow, and that's just really bad for us. Though I guess he's going to snap plow anyway now. Maybe I should have named Force. That just seemed really bad though. The good thing is he's very low on cards in hand. Yeah, I'm not going to block that because he'll flash and Snapcaster. And then the Monastery Mentor will kill my zombie, and I want to keep the zombie. I'm not going to attack because I don't want to get blocked by Snapcaster. I mean, I'll snap block that with Alchemy, but why has he done that? Now it's great if we dredge into Hogak. I mean, yeah, cool. I'm happy if that's what you're doing. Did he just think I wasn't going to do that block? I don't get it. Ouch. Please shuffle. Jesus, to not shuffle. That crypt really screwed us over. Who plays crypt in Miracles? I don't understand. Whatever, these gravestones are coming out. I'm just going to keep dredging hard. Or hardly dredging. Yeah, things are not getting good for us, friends. This man and his incomprehensible counterspelling is getting us. I don't know, I should have got the memo after game one. This guy does not counterspell like a normal human. I think we're dead to that, that's lethal, I think. Yeah, that's lethal. Alright, so you saw a Tormod's crypt. These are coming out. These are coming in. Just jam it. Yeah, I'll keep. I'm a glutton for punishment. So at times of charm, does he have force? I expect he does. He's had force every other time. Why wouldn't he have it this time? Jesus. Alright. Game is hard, guys. Just give us a putrid imp one time. We have 4 in the deck. There's 4 still in the deck. Hopefully we get some good dredges. Shuffle's good. That's not bad. Brainstorm locked, it seems. Or maybe that's intentional. Cantripping like crazy. Evidently he likes what's on top. Happy with that. I'm going to name Monastery Mentor, because I'm actually somewhat more concerned about that in this situation than Snapcaster Mage, since he has no plows in the graveyard. Okay, I mean, I'm fine with that. He's got one of them classic Miracles hands. That's why you play Miracles, for hands like that. Whoa! Since I don't have a Golgari Thug in graveyard, I'm just going to keep dredging Stinkweed Imps. Hope to hit a... because he can't block the zombies. Just going to keep dredging, hope to hit Hogak. This man's brainstormed 3 of his 4 brainstorms this game already. Ugh. He's brainstorm locked though. I keep thinking he's brainstorm locked and then he just has another cantrip, so. Whoa! This man's play is incomprehensible to me, I'm not gonna lie. Like, normally I understand what's going on against Miracles, but this guy's just crazy. But I think the correct play now is to try and... Why does he keep doing brainstorm? I guess he has to do brainstorm in this situation. Like, why is... I don't understand. I just don't understand. So now I'm pretty much locked into having to draw a land to cast Golgari Thug. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lands in graveyard. 8. Guess that's a slightly above average number of lands. I'll take a draw spell as well. What did he do with the ponder? Chooses to shuffle, that's good. I don't know. These dredges are tilting, not drawing anything's tilting, and this guy's entire play throughout all of these games has been somewhat tilting. I think I'm just going to blind Cabal Therapy name Force, because I know he must have some forces. He's drawn so many cards. It might just get hard cast forced here. I just don't get it. Cantripping to the priest was sad, and I've not seen Hogak at all, except for in game 1. Please give me a land. Oh my god. I'm seriously not feeling it. Second priest. Jeez. I think I'm just dead. I don't think there's anything I can draw now. Nah, I won't do it. Ugh. Yeah, we lose. That's frustrating. Maybe I should have played it differently game 2. Maybe I should have force checked them with the Cabal therapy, but like you can do that and then you could just get Containment Priest and it's like, what was the point? Like if you Cabal therapy them and name Priest and they've got force, you've made no difference, you've just given them an extra turn. And if you don't do that, then you name force, then they could just priest you. And generally, they don't have everything. Like, we got unlucky on the dredges as well to not hit another Faithus looting early. I don't know. Maybe I need to go back and rewatch that one, see what I did wrong. I feel like one of those 2 games was definitely winnable. I don't think there was any way you could play that last hand differently. You could argue maybe that was a mull, since the way they played out every other hand so far, they refused to force LED, they always forced the draw spell. Then that would not be a good keep. I should have mulled it, but like he had forced 3 out of 3 games. And the only reason he didn't get super punished for forcing LED in game 2, even though I had 2, the only reason he didn't get super punished for that was because he had 2 counter spells, one for the looting and one for the flashback. Like if I had like careful study, looting, no, that wouldn't have made a difference. If I had like 2 lootings, that would have been really bad. Or I had a Colosseum. Because I played the LED out game 2 before I played a land. Like I could have easily have had a Colosseum there, and just like he'd have been sat with 2 forces, feeling like an idiot. Yeah, I don't know. And especially with a Flusterstorm as well. Why wouldn't you counter the LED? Like you can counter the draw spell that comes after the LED as well. Why not just counter the LED? I don't understand it. I don't get it. Oh well, that was frustrating. Sometimes you just lose. Like sometimes the hand just matches up well against yours. Like that happened certainly there in all 3 games, even in game 1. Just in game 1, they've got no grave hate, so it doesn't really matter. We'll eventually win. Just takes a long time. Yeah, games 2 and 3 were quite rough. Getting Tormod's cryptid. Yeah, weird games. But overall, 3-2. Pretty happy with how the league went. I'm really happy with this list. It's running really well. I recommend everybody to try it out. As I said, current trophy leader from this list, so I highly recommend it. Yep, I hope you enjoyed the content. Yeah, I think I might leave you with some congratulatory words from the master himself, Mr. Eric Landon, commenting on my five league wins, topping the league leaderboard, because I just need to boost my own ego, and I love Eric. He's a great man. Okay, see you guys.
I see the daddy is now in first place. Pretty impressive. 2 dredgers.